presents that versus which. How should these relative pronouns be used in your writing? Let's start with that. That can be used in a sentence as part of a restrictive clause. Let's take a really old quote made popular by good old Shakespeare. All that glitters is not gold. Here we have a diamond that, although not gold, is clearly still sparkling. In this case, the phrase that glitters is restricting the noun all. If you were to take out the phrase that glitters, the sentence, all is not gold, though still grammatically correct, loses the main point that the writer was saying. Again, that is needed to restrict part of the sentence. All is not gold does not imply the same thing as specifying all that glitters is not gold. Let's move on to which. When which is used that way, it's considered a non-restrictive clause, and it also needs a comma. Let's look at the sentence, the sun, which is yellow, is in the sky. The non-restrictive clause is which is yellow, and note it has two commas to separate it from the sentence. You could take out this phrase and say the sun is in the sky, and it still is true. Here we have the sun, which we're pretending is yellow, is in the sky, with the clouds and the birds. Saying the sun is yellow doesn't take away from the main meaning of the sentence, it's just added description. Let's review. A non-restrictive clause, like which, can be left out of the sentence without changing the overall meaning of that sentence. It is still clear that the sun will be in the sky, regardless of whether you include the information about it being yellow, because the sun is always assumed to be yellow. And once again, remember that you need to use the commas when you're using which, but not with that. But which doesn't always have to have commas along both sides of it. For example, in the sentence, my dog ran away, which is sad, here's my little puppy, and here's me sad. The phrase is preceded by a comma, but followed by a period, so it is still enclosed in punctuation. And again, it can be removed from the sentence without changing the main point about my dog running away. It being sad is just an added description about the situation. In other words, that is needed in a sentence, whereas which is expendable. That is needed in order to specify something in a sentence. Oh, here we go. Sentence. Whereas which is used to describe something in the sentence. You can't really say homework that is easy is awesome and then switch that to homework is awesome, because that's not what you meant to say at all. That is easy is needed to clarify exactly what type of homework you're talking about. But you could say the hamburger, which cost only $1, was cheap. Here's a yummy hamburger right here. Mmm. And you could take out the phrase which cost only $1 to say the hamburger was cheap, because this is still true, regardless of the missing description. Let's use this cute dog for another example. How about the dog that lives next door, which is a black lab, came over my house. Here's my house, and here's the dog that came on over. The phrase that lives next door is needed to specify what dog we're talking about. However, the phrase which is a black lab is just an added description about the dog. That means it can technically be removed from the sentence without changing the main point, which is that the dog that lived next door came over my house. Well, I hope this helps with your writing. With love, I'm Laura. That's me. And the ELSS.